Gonzaga just dominated Baylor 101-63 to open up the college basketball season. Let's dive into the film on how they did it. So we're going to start with this very first play, and this from Gonzaga to start 11 minutes left in the first half. And what Gonzaga did really, really well throughout this entire game is cut, slip against pick and rolls. They had 15 cuts resulting in 22 points. And so we're going to look at an example of them slipping the screen, which they did a great job against, knowing that Baylor was going to switch a lot. So they're going to start in a wide staggered pin down over here in the weak side corner. And now it's going to flow into 77 action, which is just a double ball screen up top. Baylor is switching everything. They're switching 5 ways, everything. The best way to beat a switch is a slip. And so you have the first screen right here. Knowing that this second screen right here is going to result in a switch, Baylor's anticipating that and ready to kind of step up, and Huff is just going to immediately backdoor. And now with Baylor being spread out in the corners, having to respect shooters, now wide open lane for Huff to be able to go in and just be able to dunk it like that. We're going to look at another example right here. So Huff's going to get this ball in the corner, or in the corner for kind of a post up right here. Does a good job backing down. Now at this point, Baylor is not sending too hard of a double team. We're going to talk about that in just a second. Eventually they show a late one, but just look. I mean, Stromer right here is able to cut in a bit. Really just not great spacing from Baylor defensively, and really good job by Gonzaga. Battle right here of being able to dive in and kind of occupy this guy. Now as this, the trap comes from the baseline, Stromer's right there, able to easily rise up. Last one right here, not necessarily a cut, but just Gonzaga being able to create really good looks out of pretty much nothing. Now at this point, the game was kind of out of reach, but you're seeing Nemard right here just drive baseline, and out of this, nothing's really going to come from it in terms of being able to create insane plays or anything, but it's just the wide open play. And I think a theme for the night was Baylor just miscommunicating. Nemard does a great job right here of he's essentially the one cutting and taking the Baylor guy with him, handoff, leaving Battle open for 3, and just really taking advantage of what Baylor was doing defensively to get good looks for themselves. Another area that they did that in was in the post, and Gonzaga had 19 post-ups, 1.316 points per possession, and they just did a really good job of getting looks then. So, and I think the big thing that started with that is right here. Huff's going to set a screen. This is an immediate switch. It doesn't result in the immediate post-up, but you have a guard guarding him now, and so Baylor wanted to force baseline and have the help come over, and that's what's going to happen here. The issue is it puts your weak side defense in a 2-on-1 spot. So now that Huff's able to kind of gather himself and look over the defense, because remember, he once again has a smaller guard on him, he can just kind of rise up, okay, look over, now it's a 2-on-1 right here, and you're going to see rotation out to Battle, easy extra pass to Stromer, nobody's really able to rotate out for Baylor, and now Baylor's able to knock down a number 3. Gonzaga just did the really good job of moving the ball, whether it be post-ups, whether it be cuts, like just putting Baylor in tough spots consistently, and had a ton of assists to show for it. Here's another example of a post-up. Going to get to Huff right here. And again, you're going to see, okay, now they're forcing baseline. Here's the double rotating. Now they're going to put Ajayi right here going in and kind of occupying the rim, and that occupies this low defender who is guarding Battle right here. I think the other thing I want to point out, switching more to Baylor's perspective, is just look at their perimeter defenders and specifically kind of the lack of movement. So, okay, good pass off there, cool. When that happens though, like there you have to gap up, right? If you're doubling and somebody's going to occupy the rim, Baylor has to be playing a little bit more in the gaps, or just really trust that they're going to be able to rotate quickly. A little bit harder to do. Now just notice, right? Baylor, I mean, not really there in a great spot to rotate. Battle's going to get a 3 and he's going to knock it down, and that was kind of a consistent theme for Baylor all night too. Now, we talked about, okay, Baylor's doubling the post. Well, why would they double the post? What if they just went one-on-one and just let them go to work? And that's because this happens then. EK just gets it in the post, rewind a little bit. He gets it in the post, is able to easily just go up, right? There's really good spacing. Look at how far out Gonzaga spaced Ajayi, who's maybe not respected as much as a shooter. He dives in and is able to just really crash the glass, also occupy this defender. And so now look, good things happen, and now EK is able to just go up and score the ball. So that was a lot of the offensive side, and Gonzaga really was just crazy efficient on that side of the ball, and able to really just dominate their way to just, 101 points against in a top 10 matchup to open up the season. Like, that just isn't something that should happen, but Gonzaga was able to do it. And so moving to the defensive side of the ball, they also did just a really good job of being able to kind of play in the gaps and help defense and force Baylor into some really tough shots. And that's what we're going to look at right here. Baseline out of bounds. Great cutoff right here from Ajayi, just able to stay in front of his man. And so now as Baylor rotates out, okay, nothing happening. Ball goes back up top, and you're going to see eventually right here a high pick and roll. Now, Gonzaga was generally at the level or in a hedge defensively, which means the big's going to pop out this way. But then look at the corner. Now you're going to see a stunt in and still able to recover and contest the three. Gonzaga did that all night, of being able just to stunt, play in the gaps, but still rotate out and finish and contest the three well. Another example here. So high hedge, EK is going to force the ball handler back. And we'll already show, right? You're going to see a tag right here. Stromer's going to be as low man, ball moves, drive. And again, now look here. You're going to be able to dig in and really help. And that's what Gonzaga did, was be able to just make life tough by doing that. Okay, nothing happens from there now. Kick out. And now, that's not a terrible shot for Baylor by any means. Roach can't hit this, but you still have, right, another stunt right here. Still going to be able to contest this mid-range shot, and that's something that Gonzaga definitely wants to kind of try to give up. Another example here. High pick and roll. Stromer gets through. It's going to be a late switch, though. And now Stromer's just able to identify, okay, I'm going to be able just to dig in here and now help. You have multiple guys in the paint once again. There's just nowhere really for Baylor to go in the half court inside of the paint. Gonzaga was able to just help in the paint a ton, but like that first clip I showed, help in the paint and then get back out to three and still just be able to contest. This time it forces a turnover. Gonzaga diving on the floor, doing basically just everything right. So another example here of just elite rotating defense. So EK is going to be more, like I said, at the level, probably more in a drop in this spot. Baylor's going to kind of ghost it. Okay, great stuff. Gonzaga stays in front. Good job. But now it's here, right? Baylor's going to beat him backdoor, but this is where I think Gonzaga's athleticism and their kind of switchability can really show and really make this a tough team to play against. Immediate switch from Nembhard, and now they're just constant rotation. You're going to see Ajayi rotate. You're going to see Nembhard stunt. Battle's going to get out. Now this is still a shot Baylor's fine with, but Baylor had to work hard, and Gonzaga was still making the right rotations to be able to go out and do it. And just they did it all night. So I think the last thing that I really kind of want to point out is that Gonzaga also, I think, did a really good job on the glass. 16 offensive rebounds led to 17 second chance points. And Gonzaga shot the ball crazy well from three. And some of their looks, we talked about what they were earlier. Some of them were as simple as this. EK, very uncontested, even though all the Baylor players are down in the paint. Very uncontested for EK, able to rise up. And now Baylor's just kind of slow rotating out. Nobody's really able to go out. And there's just really not good communication from Baylor defensively. Easy knockdown from Nembhard, and just an elite night offensively and defensively. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. We're going to have a ton of film breakdowns out this entire season.